Don't let everybody try to influence you based on pricing only. The one thing that Icom is known for is technology and performance of the radios. We look at how can we make something even better.
KN4NEH, this is N4
Hey, Jim, I hear you
I
loud
hear
and
you
clear.
loud and
This
clear.
is
You know what? I
Jack,
bumped into Jack a few minutes
KF0DHD.
ago. Let me see if Hi, I'm Jim, N4BFR from Ham Radio Prep, and I am at Orlando Hamcation here with...
Ray Novak, N9JA with Icom America.
All right, Icom America, we're big fans. We use your radio in our HF Masterclass. And one of the interesting things that I noticed about Icom is you guys really have the commitment to cover just about all the amateur radio bands. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing?
Actually, yeah, that you're correct. We, for many years, are known for our easy-to-use HF radios. As you said, you guys have used them in your master class with a 7300.
Yep.
But we introduced here last year the IC905 that goes above and beyond. And when you look at the 7300, HF in 6 meters, 2 meters, 440, 1.2 with the 9700, we introduced the IC905. The 905 has some overlap with the 9700 with 2 meter and 440. But then we add 2 meter, 440, 1.2, 2.4, 5.6, and the optional 10 gigahertz. And then we're working on a 24 gig module that was just recently introduced in Australia.
And then one of the things I noticed about this is it looks a lot like the 705. So it's got a real, if somebody knows how to use a 705, they're really going to understand the layout of the 905 because all your software really works the same.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we started implementing is the fact that once you get a user interface that works, why skew away from it? Why change it with every radio? So the functionality, the ability to select your modes or your bands just from a touchscreen is really a great concept to do. But on this one, the radio itself stays inside the shack or in the vehicle if you're doing a rover type activation. The RF units go up at the base of the antenna, so your feed line loss is kept at a minimum.
That is a great design. So I'm going to run Ethernet back to my radio, right?
Comes with you have the option for 2 different lengths of Cat 6.
Okay.
We do power over Ethernet, so everybody makes a comment about how warm the back gets on the radio.
Sure.
Well, that's because you're stepping up the power. It's fed with 13.8 volts,
right,
but you're pushing 48 volts up to the RF units.
Got it. Okay. So in addition to your, I'll call it the base station type stuff, you have 2 fairly popular handhelds out now. The ID52 came out a couple of years ago, I think now.
Yes.
And the ID50 just came out. Tell us about what the differences are between those two and where a ham might want to get started.
Well, the 2 radios have caused a little bit of confusion of why I would want to go with one over the other. As the 52 powers up, you see it's got a beautiful color screen to it.
That looks great.
And then the 50 has the more traditional blue background screen.
Okay, so a monochrome screen versus a color screen.
Now, first thing that you notice with them side by side, other than the colors of the displays, is the actual size of the radio.
Right.
So the 52 with the color screen has a color waterfall feature to it, so you can see activity in the band. Where it's a monochrome single sweep, this will actually show a waterfall display. You have Bluetooth in the 52 where you do not on the 50.
Right.
So those 2 things in itself, the display color and the Bluetooth, add cost to the radio.
Sure.
They use the same battery packs, and the interesting thing about it, the same battery pack that is used on the 705.
So if I'm out in the field and I really want to do some POTA and my 705 starting to run down, I can pull the battery off my HT and get a few more minutes operating.
Yes, sir.
That is very cool. They both do D-Star.
They both do D-Star.
One of the differences, though, is that this can do pictures, and this one...
Well, one of the other things is with D-Star, you can do 2 D-Star audio streams with the 52.
Okay.
So you can have a true dual receive functionality with the 52, where on the 50, it's a dual watch, so it's one or the other, with the main band taking precedence.
Okay.
So you could, the one downfall is if you're listening to something on the B band, and somebody comes through on D-Star on the A band, it will switch to the A band.
Got it. So a ham who's really into Bluetooth or wants to get the most out of D-Star might think about a 52, but a 50
Right.
would be a great way to get your feet wet on digital, do some D-Star, and have that battery interoperability as well. This one also, I love the fact it's USB-C charging. To me, that's
Yes.
that's a game changer.
That is a game changer with it. Some of the examples I've been hearing people say, well, this is a radio that I use every day, and this is like my Sunday clothes, my Sunday's best.
I like
I'll
that.
take the 52 out.
Okay.
So we're seeing people buying both radios for two different purposes.
Awesome. Anything else you want to let folks know, especially new hams who are getting started? What should they think about when they think about Icom?
Don't let everybody try to influence you based on pricing only. The one thing that Icom is known for is technology and performance of the radios. So we're always going to be looking at what is the leading edge on a product. We might not be the first one to do it, like we weren't the first one to do a QRP radio, but the 705 has so many of the tools that you want to use today. We look at how can we make something even better.
That's great. That's great. Ray, thank you very much. Appreciate all Icom does, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Thanks. Head on over to hamradioprep.com to get started with our online courses. It's the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to pass your ham radio license exam.